is very expensive. Therefore, we have security level 5, which is one of the very comprehensive framework developed by industry experts. Then we are level 6 also established, and the objective we have to integrate environment to make sure that the security process is built. So today we have a very important. We are about to sign the MOU with Cybersecurity to provide learning which is 200 services. So I hope you will get this benefit of this. So as third, we are basically expecting a lot of support from industry experts and as well as professional bodies such as Cybersecurity and also foreign countries develop this ecosystem. So together, this is the opportunity to build this subsidiary ecosystem that is resilient and agile and adaptive to ever-changing cyber landscape, and let us leverage our collective expertise and resources to strengthen our defense and mitigate this security.
Thank you, Kanishka. So, first session is with Chama, who is the Chief Information and Security Officer of Kape. While he is getting ready, I will just kind of give you a little bit of objective of the session today. I believe almost all of you with the technologies, we are going to get a lot of troubles with hackers, right? So, we need to be kind of afraid of them, or we need to be getting into the next stage with them. So, how are we going to handle this? What we do when there is a attack from to any of the government side. So Chama's experience, especially on the banking sector and financial sector. So how many this incident, not technically, but particularly how we are going to manage it, what will be our mechanism of communication and what happens in the world. So he is an expert. So he will take you through a couple of slides and get you to understand and once we start done. And if there are any questions, we will welcome questions as possible. So stop talking, ask questions. Let's get into the deep into it. Thank you very much.
Hi. Good morning to everyone. So, Chama, thank you for the introduction. So, I will start with giving my background a little bit so you understand the way that we talk about the conversations and things. So, I have been in the security industry for about more than 10 years. So, I have experience working for international global organizations, Sri Lanka's banks, and now I'm the Chief Information Security Officer for Lanka, which is like the core or central processing entity for Sri Lanka's digital finance or digital economy. So all the money that you transfer from a bank to bank, or every time you access your money through a different bank's ATM, or even when you do online transfer, when you do QR payment, all these things are processed by Lanka. So security is a vital, security is a daily business for us. Plus, we have another sector, or we have another team called FICISEC, which entirely focuses on Sri Lanka's financial sector security. So, because of that, I think I have seen my fair share of security incidents. I have had to handle my share of security incidents as well, previous organizations. So, I think thinking of that, I accepted Lakma's invitation to brief you through what is incident response, especially information security incident response. So, before talking about incident response, usually when we talk about information security, we start from we have an approach called top-down approach. top to bottom approach. This means we first talk about governing policies. We talk about structures, how the information security should be managed, and then we talk about risks related to information security management. Then we talk about operational policies. So when we talk operational policies, we talk about patch management, change management, incident response, DLP, this type of things. But today, I think we have taken incident response first. So why we have taken incident response first is that I will explain in next slide. So this, I'm really sorry about the clarity of the present, but if you look at that and if you can read that screen, so I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with this incident. Okay. So this is in 2020. Sorry. So this was in 2023, where ICTA hosted environment got hit by a ransomware attack. So this is not my personal information. This is taken from Sunday Times. If you're part of the organization that experienced this attack, you would realize that you lost some amount of emails, you lost access to some of your services for a certain time, and ICTA really struggled to get back with the information or get your information back to you. Right? So there were various reasons led to this point. This ended up being like this, but this is a massive setback, or this is a massive attack on Sri Lanka's government infrastructure. So, you being the Sri Lanka's government ICT sector, right? So I think this directly impacts you. Then, this is from Sky News, international news, right? One of Sri Lanka's largest manufacturing entities, MS Holdings, got hit by a ransomware. But look at the way that they have pitched the message. So attacking MS Holdings was not their main point of the message, right? The main point of the message is producers for Ivy Park and Nike Victoria's Secret. So that's the catch point, right? So if you get attacked, they will not talk about your entity. They will talk Sri Lankan government got hit. So because only in the second paragraph they are saying MS Holdings. It's not even in the topic. So this is how outside world, okay, media looks at incidents. They always try to catch the most public interest catching parts of the incident. Okay. So most of the time, when things like this happen, it becomes a serious reputation or public affairs nightmare for us. Ended up being because this really brings up unwanted attention to the incidents when we try to handle it. So that's also we will discuss. That's also part of handling incidents. Next is so we spoke about government sector. We spoke about manufacturing, which are not really, let's say, on their prospect, we said they are not 100% technology focused companies. But this is Sri Lanka Telecom. Sri Lanka Telecom is a tech-savvy company, right? Run by engineers, provide services to the entire nation, and they have the largest data centers of Sri Lanka. So even we are a client of, as a data center, we are a client of SLT, and they got hit by ransomware. And the best thing is, all these three attacks happened within last 3 years. Very short time. Three massive cyber attacks within 3 years. So historically, Sri Lanka had not seen this type of attacks previously. Sri Lanka had been, let's say, we were flying under the radar. We were not an important country or important entity to be attacked until very recently, maybe after the end of the war, because there were political reasons to attack Sri Lanka, revenge-related political reasons. Until then, we did not see any massive attacks on Sri Lanka infrastructure. But now we have Now we no longer fly under the radar. Now we are in the radar. Now these are the attacks, or these are the incidents that we could get from the public. These are the things that went public. This one, so there are many incidents that doesn't come to the public eye. So in such a case, I can't even bring them up, even though I know, because we do public information. So these are things that are public. So this is why I think this also agree that we need to look the problem at hand first. How ready are we to face incidents? Everything we do, every policy, every framework that we do, we are trying to stop these things happening. Right? So all the cybersecurity policies, all the cybersecurity strategies, everything targets are preventing incidents from happening, preventing disruption happening to our organization, protecting our data. So this is why we need to focus on incident management in very granular level, in very operational, practical level. So these are global data. So that was our local context. So there's a report called Cyber Threat Defense Report. It was So Cyber Threat Defense Report is made by taking responses from about 1,200 IT professionals globally, and most of the organizations they represent are having more than 500 employees, so medium to large scale organizations. And this covers 17 countries, and they have covered 19 industries. So what I wanted to show you is this. So within 1 year, out of these 1,200 respondents or these sectors, 45% of the respondents have seen 45% and 0.5 of the respondents see more than one attacks on their infrastructure. And if you look at 11%, like the 10% of the people have seen more than 10 times that they have been attacked within 12 months. So like it's like once every month you have to work or you have to handle a cybersecurity incident. And again, looking at the private sector, small and medium sector, on the cybercrime magazine says 60% of small companies go out of business within 6 months facing a fatal cyber attack. 60%, more than half, right? How does this happen? And this mainly happens due to reputation and problems. So if you run a finance company, if you run a bank, if you face a massive data breach, or if your customer base comes out and goes in public, nobody's going to trust you. The trust the people keep on you is gone. So people will not come back to you for their business. People will not trust their information kept with you. So government, I understand there's a sort of a monopoly that you do only this service, so they will have to come to you. But the reputation is going to be in a serious problem. So this is a global scale. So let's talk about something called threat landscape. So a threat landscape is your surroundings. How do your surroundings? How does your infrastructure sit among the threats that you face? What are the threats that you face daily? And who's going to looking into your threats? Not from the inside, I'm talking about attacker side. Which type of attackers, which type of things that you really look into your systems and how they're going to compromise. So this is also from the Cyber Threat Defense Report. Okay. So most attack entities are finance companies because they have money, and people believe attacking a finance company could gain unethical financial advantages. Maybe they could attack an account or customer account and gain money, or they go for large ransom so they can, because finance companies are very scared of reputation and damages. Then telecom industry, telecom and technology, retail. But if you look at the last one, 74% for that means almost 75% of the government entities who participated in that cyber threat defense report, global report, has seen at least once they have been attacked. 75%. So you might think, okay, that is a global state. We don't really face this, or we don't really see this. We don't experience attacks. If attacks happening, if 75% of government entities happening, attacks happening, how are we going to survive? How are we really doing this? Okay. So the point is, when we categorize cyber attacks or cyber risks or malware attacks, whatever, we categorize in different levels. Okay. So a successful virus attack would also come up as a cyber attack. But when we look at this level, we only look into the loss-making attacks. That means that would really incur a financial loss or data loss to us. But to see this, to understand that we are under attack, we need to have true visibility. That is another thing that we are going to talk about incident management in later in this presentation. So that you will might understand why don't we see this type of attacks? Why don't we see this happening in our infrastructure? So we were talking about attacks. So what are attacks? What's actually happening? I was talking malware. I was talking viruses. I told 75% of entities, government is getting attacked globally. So these are looking at the statistics. Okay, these are few attacks that out of 5. Okay, that cybersecurity professionals who are concerned about. Okay, so 5 being the most concerned, 1 being the least concerned. So now if you go through malware, account takeover, phishing, ransomware, how many of you have heard about these attacks? I'm pretty sure at least you have heard about ransomware because we spoke about them a little while ago. And malware, it says viruses, worms, trojans, and people are more concerned about it because even though they might really bring a low impact to your organization, they are in the scale or in the volumes, they are the highest volume. Okay. Some of your users just go into the internet and download a file, and that could be very well infected with malware. Okay. So in volume wise, this is very high. But if you compare all these attacks, okay, if you look at, there's something called just after ransomware, that's called advanced persistent threats. Okay. So ransomware is also type of an APT, advanced persistent threat. So what we call an advanced persistent threat is a very sophisticated, targeted attack, motivated attack, not like a virus. Virus is something that could come through your USB drives. Somebody could download a file, somebody could download an exe file and get a virus, a worm, or a trojan. But an APT is something that is very well planned, okay, and with a motivation to infiltrate your organization and make something out of it. So these are very targeted attacks. How ransomware becomes a part of APT is ransomware are made to get money from you. They will threat you, they will blackmail you, and they will say your data is encrypted, you don't have access to your system, you don't have access to your data, or the newer ransomwares will threat to publish your data. Okay? So these are called APTs because they first access your systems, they don't do anything, sit in your system for a while, study the environment, then they look for monetizable targets. Monetizable targets are basically things that they could get access, things that they could steal from you, and then later use for their economic advantage. So if you have monetizable targets, do you have monetizable targets in your organization? everybody has monetizable targets in the organization. Because a monetizable target means it's not something that they are planning to sell it in the internet. So if you have credit card numbers, bank account details, those are sellable information. Those are directly monetizable. But if you have a critical system that you cannot do your operations without that system, and if they lock that system out from you, and if they ask a ransom from you, that's a way of monetizing. And if you have a lot of people information, Janat is not here yet, but he's the Sri Lanka's expert on protecting privacy information, personal data. So we, including my organization, is also part of government. We are a semi-government organization. We all handle people information, lots of people information. And we have lots of people information here and there lying around. Yeah. So this information coming out of, or somebody stealing this information and threatening to release this information on the internet is a way of monetizing our assets. Now we have another problem because we have, it's not really a problem, it's a really good thing that we have the Personal Data Protection Act, which every entity in Sri Lanka has to abide by. So loss of personal information has now become a reputational risk, operational risk, plus the compliance and legal risk now. Because legally, we are compelled to protect the information that we take from other people. It's not just your customers, it's your employees as well. If you have 1,000 people, employees on your organization, if your HR system hosts these 1,000 people's information, then you are responsible for the protection of these 1,000 people's information. Now, Personal Data Protection Act has made it a right of a person to be protected, his information to be protected. So I have a right that my information is being protected from whoever that I share my information with. So the point when we collect information from people, it ultimately becomes our responsibility to protect this information. Legally, it has always been ethical responsibility, but now it has become a legal responsibility. So, Janata is here, so if you have any questions, please, once Janata comes in, you can ask any amount of questions, he will be more than happy to reply. And so other things like DDoS attacks, web application attacks, all these things, account takeover, remote access attacks to our organizations, all these things are there. It's not just one thing. Other thing about incident management, which is difficult for us, is basically we have to think 1,000 attacks. We have to think about 1,000 scenarios, where an attacker has to put his all time, all money, all mind on one particular attack. Okay? So we are handicapped. We have to think about 1,000 things, but he has to think about one clever thing. He can invest all his money, all his time onto this and launch an attack. So we need to understand, and incident management also has to be the same way. Incident management has to be very granular, but it has to cover the entire scope, entire operation of your organization. So we spoke about ransomware. I need to draw your attention a little bit more into the ransomware, because ransomware is evolving. Earlier, by the definition, when we speak about a ransomware, when we talk about ransomware, a ransomware is an application that can encrypt your data or that can make your systems unavailable for you, and they will ask money to unlock that. But now, recently, even the MAS attack, we have seen, before they encrypt or before they block the information or block the systems out from you, they exfiltrate, they export your data to their servers. So in the MA's case, there have been they claim they stole 300 GB of MA's documents from their servers. And actually part of the documents are published because they wanted to prove that, because MS did not agree to pay the ransomware. So what they said, okay, you don't pay the ransomware. If you don't ransom, that's fine. If you don't pay the ransom, we are going to publish this. And they actually publish a sample of the document. And list of all the documents plus a few samples of the documents to prove that they have got information. So ransomware is no longer a very directly handleable ransom threat. Sorry, not a ransom, but directly handleable threat. Because by the time when you see a ransomware in action, or by the time when you see your systems are unavailable, it is most likely that your data is also being exported and they must have your data. Now when we see an incident, by default we think that okay, data is also gone now. Because this is how ransomware is now working. So if you look out of the ransomware incidents, okay, so 78% of ransomware attacks include more than one threat. The one threat is basically your data systems being unavailable, systems being encrypted, but 78% of the ransomware has another functionality. Either you steal your data, okay, or corrupt your systems, attack your backup systems. One additional thing rather than just encrypt or make your systems or data unavailable. And 30% has two additional threats. So these are backup plans for ransomware attackers. Yeah. So plan A is just to call a ransom, making your systems unavailable. Plan B, maybe export your data and threat you to publish this data. Plan C, who knows? They come up with very clever ideas. And so this is one thing that I wanted to emphasize on ransomware, because ransomware threat is very real and it is evolving. And this is a global statistic. Okay. This is the average ransom paid per attack quarter on quarter from Q1 2020 to Q4 2022. And you can see it's in the rise. So there's quarter on quarter the amount has gone up. And if you look at the last quarter, Q4 2022, average ransom per attack has gone up to 408,000 US dollars, which if we take USD is 300 rupees, it's around 120 million. $0.12 billion rupees, 120 million per ransom attack. So the worst case is there are entities who you can hire to launch a ransomware attack. So if you are planning an attack, you don't have to develop a ransomware for you. In the dark web, okay, if you can search for something called RE-Evil, okay, that is a well-known entity who would hire the ransomware system for you to attack. Or you can ask them to hire, they will take a percentage of the money and they will do the attack for you. That's how MS got attacked. MS attack conducted by RE-Evil ransomware. So it has become a business, a well-established, well-processed business. We are actually working against this type of threats now. We are not any longer looking for viruses, isolated incidents, some child or some script kid, we call them script kiddies, some who's learning cybersecurity trying to hack into our websites. No, we are no longer dealing with those type of isolated incidents. Now we are dealing with business entities, state-motivated attacks. Okay, so this type of very organized, very structured, and very well-planned research attacks. So I think this is a very good point that even while we look at the policies, even while we set the strategies, we have to start parallelly looking at the incidents. So incident management. So that's that. I just wanted to give you an idea how the situation out there to come into the incident management part. So, what is information security incident management? So, after this point, I will, for easiness, I will call it ISIM. Okay. So, what is information security incident management? So, incident management process or incident management procedure or your incident management team, in fact, with the first response for a cyber attack, the first line of defense. They will be the first people or the first process that is going to get involved if you see an incident or if something is going wrong that you don't understand. With procedures and try to find out what to do next. Then attack has more than enough time to react and come back with a new method of attack. So actually, what are the benefits? So this is about what we do with incident management, but what are the benefits? Okay. So it helps us reduce our downtime. Because part of incident management is recovery. So we need to practice how fast we can recover our businesses. This is not from just business continuity, but this is from cybersecurity perspective as well. Then it helps us to meet compliance requirements. I just told you a little while ago that protecting people data, personal data, is a compliance requirement for us in Sri Lanka. Okay. So if you get attacked or some hacker hacks your systems and steal all this data, publish in the internet, you cannot say, okay, somebody attacked me, I didn't purposely do it, somebody attacked me and you can't hold me responsible. No. Because the responsibility starts with the time to collect data. And part of that is making sure that we have taken all the precautions to stop this information being leaked outside. So that is another way that incident management or ISIM, Information Security Incident Management, could help us to be prepared to minimize the exposure, minimize the risks that we look in compliance and legal. Okay. Then it always, as always, when we have a proper process, we always have it helps us improve security posture. The capability of organization to meet good security standards. Usually, that's a selling point, but I took it to the last because all the first two are more practical requirements that we need to manage. So, what are the key areas of incident management, or how we actually prepare or create an incident management plan? As with everything, incident management also comes. The first step is the preparation. A preparation means we need to understand what are the threats that we have, what are the possible threats that our organization could face. There are two ways. You can look at the technologies. Okay? You can look at your firewalls, you can your applications, the application you have developed, and such. Then you can look at the critical, valuable assets you have, the information of people, or what type of services that you provide. Because these critical assets are the motivational factors for the attackers to attack us. Because ultimate target to access these assets through whatever the technology loopholes that we have. So preparation is the first point. You need to understand what are the critical things that you have, what are the sellable things. We call them crown jewels. In information security terminology, we call them crown jewels. That means the most important jewel on your organization. May it be information, may it be systems. When we understand what are the type of threats that we have, we need to have something called playbook. A playbook is a step-by-step work plan if that type of an incident happens. Okay, I will tell one example. A playbook is if you take a playbook for ransomware attack. Okay, so first playbook will tell you first how to identify ransomware. Okay. Then it will tell you how to react. Then it will tell you how to investigate. Then it will tell you how to handle public, how to handle the public relations. Then it will tell you how to do the investigation and report, and how do we take feedback from it. The playbook is something like that. It's a guide, step-by-step guide on how you handle or how you face a playbook can be different from organization to organization, based on your technologies, based on your applications, based on your people. The idea of a playbook is, so in the information security field, retaining people is very difficult. Okay. Sri Lanka is at the, Sri Lanka is, I think Sri Lanka is recovering a bit, but Sri Lanka, about a year ago, Sri Lanka was at a very difficult point that we were not sure whether we would have enough professionals to run this industry in Sri Lanka. So, we didn't have enough, we still don't have, but we now have a bit of hope. That's why SSR is also focusing on developing capacity, developing people who can handle this type of situations in Sri Lanka. So when new people comes in, this playbook will be their guide at the first point. Okay. Then another part of preparation is practice. Okay. For this we do something called war games. A war game is a simulated incident. So a simulated incident means, like a business continuity drill, we simulate an incident. You can do it yourself, or you can ask somebody like SSR to do that. So they will walk through you step by step how an attack happens. As they walk through you, you will have to give your responses. First they will say, okay, you for 1 hour in the morning, 10 people call you and complain that their computers are inaccessible. They can't log into your computers. Then what do you do? Then they will say, there's a ransom note, or there's a notice on their computer. Then what do you do? So they will play the attacker's role, and you will have to play the responder's role. This is a simulated incident. So this is called a war game. After this preparation, is only then we are saying we are ready to handle incidents. Okay. So we are still in the preparation stage. So when we really do practice incident management, next thing is identification, the capability to, I think it's not, this is a problem with this projector there, it's stable, so you might, if you look at that, that's more clear. So next would be the identification, the capability to find out there's something wrong with the organization. So there are a lot of, so this entire incident management process is dependent on your people, your process and your technologies. You need to have people to run this. You need to have your processes which accommodate or tell people what to do, and you need to have your technologies to make you enable this type of detection and response. Then you come to the containment part. Containment part is how to handle incident, or how to stop incident from spreading across the organization. Again, a ransomware I will take as an example. A ransomware will start from one computer, and it will infect all the computers from your organization. Somewhere in the middle, the moment when you get to know that these computers are inaccessible, how do you stop it? How do you stop it reaching your data centers? How do you stop it reaching to other departments or other computers? This is what containment part talks about. Then eradication means how do you remove this? How do you remove this threat? How do you remove this malware from your organization? Then comes a recovery part. If you had a loss, how do you recover from that loss? Then lessons learned. To analyze the entire scenario, which allowed this attacker or which allowed this ransomware to come into your organization in the first place, and which type of technical loophole they exploited to access and attack you. For the lessons learned are there. So next time when we prepare, or next time when we get ready, we close all these loopholes and we know how to respond in the way that is there attack like that. So we are actually running out of time a little bit, so I will go to the next slide. How do you build a strong, formidable ISIM strategy or incident management strategy? You need to have a good incident response team. A good incident response team doesn't mean a team of 10, 12, 15 years experts, but good incident response team means a team which is well practiced. A team that is practiced well, team that knows what to do. Okay. You don't have to have the Sri Lanka's best expertise in your team. You need to have a team who could detect an incident and at least try to contain or stop that incident from spreading across the organization. Then you can call the experts who are from SSR or universities and come and help you to recover or come out of this threat. Okay? Other thing is a comprehensive incident response plan, including playbooks, what to do, how to detect, how to eradicate, how to recover, a plan that tests everything. Then, most important thing, I did not touch this yet in the entire presentation, but the most important thing is have good awareness. I spoke to you about training for practicing incident response teams. But even though they are the first responders, something goes wrong, they are the first people to go and look for an incident. They are not the first people who face the incident. Okay? They may not, the first people, the first party of your organization who would face an incident is your employees, your members of your organization, right? So, general employee information security awareness is a key factor on handling or facing incidents, cybersecurity incidents. I'll take an example. Out of those 3 incidents I spoke, at least 2 incidents triggered by an email sent to an administrator of an IT system. Okay. That email contained a malware. An IT system administrator did not really care, or he missed to take precautions or take proper actions before opening this email, and the two of the 3 largest cybersecurity incidents happened in Sri Lanka because the lack of awareness of the system administrators. Usually, we are IT people, we believe we are the God, we know everything, we don't really take others' words. We do it our own way. That's how, we are also like that in my organization. But that is a point where a lack of proper cybersecurity awareness came into the picture. May it be your organization and IT administrators, may it be your employees. Okay? Anybody could be in that seat at that time. So proper information awareness, information security awareness is the key, most important thing when you have a good incident response plan. Okay. Then security tools, technologies. We will have few sessions about adopting new technologies. Okay. There's going to be a session on that. So these things that comes next, which will enhance your capability to identify something going wrong. Let's say a good network sensor or good network detection system would help you if there's a data export or if there's a data exfiltration happens. This type of a system could allow or trigger your system or give you an error saying there's something suspicious like this happening. Okay? Or a good firewall or access control system will help you identify if there's a suspicious login to your organization from outside. So this type of technology adoption also helps you to detect and then again recover. Online backup systems, offline backup systems. These things will help you recover. Good malware detection systems, good endpoint detection and response systems, EDR. EDR, we call them the next generation antivirus systems, will help identify anomalous behavior on your IT systems. They will generate alerts for you to act upon. Then always test and update plus. Thank you. Test your plans, test your procedures, and practice. Why practice is important, I will tell again, because everything's going to be a panic scenario when an incident really happens. Everybody is going to run around. And the only people who should, or usually the people who must stay sane, who must be on their mind are the incident response team. If they start panicking, everything is going to be a mess. Oh, there's another thing I have missed to include in this book. Have a good communication plan. Okay. A good communication plan includes 3 sectors. One, your internal communication. How do you communicate to your employees that there's an incident happening? Okay, and what they should do and what they should not do. Then another communication plan to talk to stakeholders. You have other organizations that deal with you. Okay? You have technology connections with other organizations. You must have VPN connectivity. You have shared the system with other organizations. These are stakeholders, and your authorities, your customers. So these are stakeholders. So you must have a communication plan for your stakeholders. Then you need to have a public communication plan. You must have a public relations officer, and the moment something goes wrong, every questions, media, okay, your friends, family, some people you really don't know. They just realize that you work here, and they are going to ask you, hey, something like this happened, what happened? You must have a proper plan, and you must have an appointed person who would answer these questions, who would give proper media statements. And the usual strategy in Sri Lanka is not to talk anything. That's what Sri Lanka's usual strategy. We don't talk. No, nothing happened. You're good. Hey, your system is out. Oh, I said so. I didn't even know that. These are the normal responses, right? ICTA incident. We got to know from the papers. About 2 months afterwards, when there's no data, then they could not recover the information. It's not be the case. Should not be the case. They always should have a proper communication plan. They should always come up front, but you don't tell everything. There's a selected information. There are a set of formats. There are a set of templates that we publish. But you cannot hide. You have to have. This is an international standard, and this is an ethical thing. If you have faced a cybersecurity attack, and if you lost some data, people have the right to know. So that's a legal requirement plus ethical requirement. So these things you need to have. So these are today I didn't want to teach you on how to develop an incident response plan, but I wanted to give you the importance of having a good incident response plan and very key highlights of what do we do when we have an incident response plan. Because teaching you how to develop how to do an incident response plan is another, I think it's another 2-3 days workshop. It's a very in detail subject, but I hope that you got some idea. Why do we need to have an incident response plan? What are the key things that we need to consider? And what we could get out of an incident response plan? Okay. So, my time is actually up. So, do you have any questions? I welcome your questions if you have any. So we will take it. Right? Thank you guys.
Thank you very much, Amma. I believe you got some insights from how banking sector handles securities. We have Mr. Dr. Ajanta Atukorala, who is President, Computer Society of Sri Lanka, and he's also the Director, University of Colombo School of Computing. So very quickly, just express gratitude for you being here and be a part of government ICT officers community. And at the same time, he has a small, wonderful some response to one of your colleagues and your organization's request. I would like to invite Dr. Ajanta Atukorala to have a very brief conversation with you all and take you to where we are at Computer Society of Sri Lanka.
Okay, thank you for giving the opportunity, and so most of you all, I think I have some of our students also around, and with the society, I think we have discussed quite a few things regarding how we can work with the government IT officers, and also like you all also have your own things like how you should proceed in your in our sector with the government administration. So Computer Society of Sri Lanka is one of the apex bodies of computing professionals for Sri Lanka, and we do work with different membership types, and we are also like in the process of convincing the government to consider us as also like other professional bodies, chartered status organization. So there are quite a few things to be done. So like engineers, like doctors, like other professionals around, like computing is also a professional practice, so that you all always have to be upgrading yourself like these sessions, as well as that's where like it's important to be a member of a society. So the Computer Society of Sri Lanka is designed for that, and we are working, though we are not a chartered status being granted by the government, but however the information processing, we call IFIP, International Information Processing Agency, like it's in the Europe, so they have recognized us as a professional body. So we are being accredited by IP3, we call that's accreditation given to the society to be a professional organization. So when you become a member, you become an IP3 qualified member as well. So those are there, but as the government of Sri Lanka is not being recognized as we are a professional body, we're giving us a chartered status, but there are quite a few things to be done to be there. So as of now, we do have membership, which if you have a degree in computing with a 4 years executive level experience, yes, you can become a member. So some of you all are maybe already members, but if you have that qualification, yes, you can. But if you do not have a degree in computing, but you can still become a member, where if you have 8 years or more executive level experience with IT systems, so that we consider to provide a member. If not, like if you're not up to that level, or that your experience cannot be considered in a high executive level, there is associate membership. So that with the associate membership, yes, you can then again go in the ladder, and after 4 years with that executive level work, you can again upgraded to be a full member. So when you come up to a chartered status, if you get, so then yes, like these programs you have to get involved, because there's a CPD program, so then you have to be upgrading yourself every year, and there will be minimum marks that you need to score throughout the year to keep your chartered status. So that is not there, but however, this year we are trying to work and bring with the membership the CPD level, so that even though we are not being considered as a chartered, but we would like to practice that, so that then when we get in the future, so that it's already been implemented. So other than that, if you know anyone who would like to join with CSSL, they also can come to affiliate member. Not I think most of, not you all are going to be on that category, because that's where like you don't have IT experience or IT degree, but if you have an interest in computing, right, so they can be like especially freelancers, so they also can join, but as an affiliate member. But then, so when they have a degree or when they have executive level 8 years, so they can be associate and the member. But most of you all, I know you have degrees, mostly like you all have either the first degree or the postgraduate has from computing, so then you definitely are with 4 years experience you can get in. So that is what like we do organize conferences, tech talks, as well as we do have women in engineering, women in not engineering, women in IT we call. Women in engineering is popular, but similarly we do try to promote because here also we can see some, not many, in the IT profession, but IT profession is not like engineering or anything like it's a male dominant thing should be. So however, I think some of like the case here as well, and Dr. Nirosha from KDU, so they are members as well as council members, as well as they are running the women in IT sector as well. Some of you all can get to work, like we can join work together with your organization as well. And yeah, one thing like as, okay, by the way, Lakmal is also the current president of ISAC, and he is also council member of CSSL. We do have the chairman of FITIS as well as a treasurer of CSSL. So we are more connected, as we said, like the industry bodies, we are not like each other doing our own, but we work together. That's why like today also like Lakmal invited me to come here and discuss. But one thing is like we would like to get you all on board as well to the computing professional body, CSSL. So in the recent council we decided to give some benefits like when you are joining. So like the joining fee we will give 50%, and then the annual fee will be there. So that probably Janaki will do that, maybe awareness. Like so last council we decided, so because we will give you some special benefit if you are becoming a member by end of July, I think, yeah. Yeah, that's from May, June, July. That's what like yesterday also we had a chat. There are a few council members who were there. So till about July, like July 31st, we'll say. So when you join that, we will get that special rate and get you all membership. And we would like to work, and we know that IT service has to be looked into as a very important service to run the important things. Like today you talk about security, but IT is the core of now all the organizations in the government sector. Let's focus on similarly private sector. So then you all are doing a great job as well. So you are like engineers, you are like doctors, right? So similarly you are running this IT systems. So it's where like that has to be all island service, and then that what you all are looking as your society as well, your the members who are joining. So I think that we also like give our full support, and then you becoming a member of the professional body, that also like we can work together and we can jointly do things as well. And of course I think one thing is like what we are looking at, both of us as like we are trying to look at charter status, you all also try to look at some of the online service, as well as like we will try to have our knowledge as well updated, right, and then becoming the right computing professional. So I invite you all, and then thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you, Lakman. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Ajantan. So next activity is more of signing an MOU between Sri Lanka CERT and ISACA Sri Lanka. So what benefits are we going to do, and what we are trying to do through this is more of actually we as ISACA, we as members and partners of other societies as well, we usually try to get as much as from our headquarters in Chicago. discount as well. So, ISACA certifications and memberships are very expensive. So, considering that, we always try to bring down some activities and help you all. So, this MOU with SLCert, as well as we are looking forward to sign an MOU with your organization, society as well. So we will provide a priority when we distribute these discount vouchers as well as training. So actually, I have two offers for today. So basically, we have received another set of 50% off vouchers for ISACA related exams. So usually the worth of those 20 vouchers is about 2.5 million. So that's usually what we do is we have a public interest survey, and on top of that we conduct an exam, and whomever who is getting to the first 20, we are usually giving them certificate with these vouchers. But there is a criteria where you get more marks when you attach to ISACA partner organizations and so on and so forth. As the government service, so we look forward to include you special criteria for you as well. So we are going to allocate about 20-25% of the vouchers badges that we are getting for you to kind of be certified. And the MOU that we are going to sign, so that will help SLCert also to support the rest of the 50% if possible. We will look forward to kind of get into certain other activities with CSSL, FITIs, to see whether there is any support we can bring it to the rest of the 50 as well. And one more thing, so basically we as ISACA conducts training programs every other month. So we do conduct training for almost all of these certifications. I'm not going to promote you any of the certifications. You can look into isaca.org and kind of identify what content and what are those things. But this is specially, we have two panel discussions in the morning, so we are going to have it in a while with Mr. Jayant Fernando, Andrew Shane and Shamat, which is moderated by Naranjan Disanayaka. So whomever is asking questions from panel, so we are going to basically give away 100% discount on our ISACA trainings. So that is conducted by accredited trainers who are accredited. Basically, it's again a voluntary basis we do, but we do have 4 accredited trainers in Sri Lanka who can deliver ISACA related programs in any country in the world. So Indica is the very first one to become accredited, and there are 4 others who are accredited to do so. So whenever we are having the programs, you can join these programs without paying any cents. So basically it will allow you to kind of get the related knowledge or required knowledge to go and sit for the exam that we are again supporting you at least 50% of the exam vouchers. So following this will be tea. So I believe if you want to go out, you can start. But if you want to witness the signing, greatly appreciate you to stay a little bit. But we will have the tea. We have the tea ready, and we'll most probably